Chancellor's confirmed more than 3/4 of pensioners will receive the payment this year after a massive government U-turn. Quick look at the front pages will tell you how it's been received. The Sun says it was foolish. So say sorry, she says. They say about Rachel Reeves. The Mirror are pretty supportive of Labour, so they just call it Winter Wonderful. They missed out Winter Wonder Fuel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I should have done that. Then the whole point, Rachel Reeves is saying, look, I had to cut it because there was no money. Now there is some money, I can put it back. Deluded, says the Mail, because there's basically still no money. Victory for pensioners, says the Express, who've been campaigning on it more than any other paper, I would say. And then, yes, millions escape. This is a sort of factual account just down the bottom of the Times here. Millions escape winter fuel cuts. OK, let's have a look at the mechanics of this, because it just is worth looking at. It's, as with all these things, it's not quite as simple as it appears. So we'll start. These two guys are mates. They're both pensioners. He's the one who's slightly wealthier. You can tell that because he has a golf club. And they're sitting in the park together, two single pensioners. And this guy we'll call Golf Guy has a pretty good retirement income of £38,000 a year. This chap here, as I say, is poorer. And his income is, let's see, about, well, let's say £21,000 a year. OK, and that's crucial because the government has torn a strip, basically, between the two of them and put the cut-off at £35,000. There we go. So that means Golf Guy doesn't qualify. This chap, under 35 grand, does, and he's just heard, and he's going to jump for joy. There we go. He's got a bit of good news there. Well done, sir. It's a bit more complicated, though, when it comes to couples, so I'll explain why. Because basically couples are looked at, each person is looked at on their own merits. So here is an elderly couple generated by AI, both in their 80s, 82, 85 years old. Really simple, £150 each, £300 restored, no questions asked, OK? They've got incomes under 35,000. Let's have a look at these two now. Age difference here, 87 he is, she's younger, 78. They still get 300 because one of them is over 80. But these two are both under 80 and they get 200. And here's the kicker. One of them has an income of more than 35,000. This one here, as well as being 72, income 40,000. So instead of getting £200, this guy is going to get 0, and this one here will get 100. So there are degrees of this thing, and the variables are all about your age and your income. Those two. This is what the Chancellor had to say.
We've listened to people's concerns around the level of the mean test, and because of changes we've made and the stability we've brought back to the economy, we are able to increase that amount. And we will set out in the normal way in the budget how everything is funded. But no one should be in any doubt about my commitment to the fiscal rules to ensure that the sums always add up.
I mean, that's the bit I don't get. Why are we saying now we've found the money to do it?
From where?
From where?
Because I don't. Where has it come from?
Why not just say we've made a political mistake, everyone got cross, we got worried, we lost a constituency, we're now reversing it. What do you think?
I would have liked to see something a little bit more bespoke, because I don't think it takes into consideration if someone has a house with no mortgage or their expenditure. But I know that's too difficult to do. I think
you'd want fewer richer pensioners to get it.
Not necessarily richer. It's just about lifestyle. Again, someone living in the north on 35 versus someone in London is completely different. So I think you can't just have this blanket, but then they have to do something. They can't be as specifically bespoke. But I think they were too harsh before, but I think they're a little bit too generous now. OK,
interesting. Radzi?
Well, the Labour government now looks so weak, and this is just... It's poor politics, and hearing Rachel speak there, it's so robotic, it's so rehearsed, it's so wooden, that regardless of the justification, we don't believe you because we don't believe in you. A year ago, in the general election, I was excited about a new Labour government. But what's happened to Labour? Well, do you know what? Because it was an opportunity for things to change. And instead, it's been Tory 2.0, it's been austerity light, it's been just a panoply of decisions that I think, this is not the Keir Hardie Labour that I was once told about.
Is it so? In terms of the winter fuel allowance, would you pay it out to everyone now just to avoid the bureaucracy?
To everyone.
Well, Yeah, so first of all, avoid the bureaucracy and specifically avoid the cost to HMRC, number one. Number two, is it that bad to give people at the end of their life just something that makes their life a little bit easier? And the justification being that there are some rich pensioners, OK, I accept that, maybe even 20%. But for the 80%, for the doing just all right...
There's about 1 million people who will be missed out now, and they are richer. They're not all Mick Jagger. By the way, they'll all be, unless they get in ahead of the payment and say, don't give it to me, you'll all be paid it, and you'll then have to return it via your tax return. So why don't we just avoid this bureaucracy and pay it to everyone?
No, I think this whole idea, the pensioners are so protected, especially the baby boomers. If you compare the baby boomers with their age compared to how old Gen Z are now, or millennials when they were in their 20s, they've made far more than we did or Gen Z's going to make. That's number one. Number two, people are really struggling and they're going to work and we're being encouraged to have more children. Childcare issue is a problem. And why not fund those things? Why is it always, why are the eldest in society, especially those with money, just automatically protected?
OK, so you mentioned why is it? It doesn't have to be an either or. Why do we always look to the bottom?
We don't have the money to give money to everyone.
Well, we apparently have got money to raise the levels of NATO to 5% of GDP.
War makes money. We sell arms all the time.
You could argue that the richer people have paid the tax.
Well, also, I think specifically older people have. You've sat here many times before and said the millennials, and specifically the Gen Z, they're work shy. Well, that generation were not work shy. Half a century of tax money they've put in. Let's just reward that and say, you know what, guys, let's have something to look forward to. Life doesn't always have to be this negative...
All right, hang on, Lynn, let's just get a call. Jean in Dorset, do you think it should be paid to everyone? If they're going to reverse it, just reverse the whole thing.
No, I don't think everybody should get it. But take issue with the lady on your panel. She mentioned baby boomers. I'm a baby boomer, raised 2 children without a generous benefit system, no holidays, no cars, and 18% interest rates. So yes, I'm one of those awful, awful baby boomers. Now, getting back to the subject that we're talking about.
I didn't say you were awful. I just said my parents are baby boomers, and statistics show, as well as my parents telling me, in terms of income, maybe not yourself, but generally speaking, the statistics show that you made more than we have now in terms of millennials and Gen Z.
Gina, do you not feel richer than Lynn's generation?
That I really couldn't comment on, but anything I have, I can assure you, was care of working round the clock and very hard. Sure. I think maybe a simpler issue would be to deny the winter fuel allowance to anyone who's in the 40% tax bracket. If that's not possible, then for heaven's sake, for simplicity, just give it to everyone.